The importance of this game was underlined by the number of travelling fans who flocked to East End Park. 5,000 reportedly, and the greeting the Hibs players received from those who made the journey suggested that despite their lowly position, the supporters were still very much on their side. That backing evoked a committed response from a player not normally noted for his endeavour, one Tony Rougier, but the referee didn't like it. There weren't to be many chances in this game, but one fell to Hibs, using what is normally the Dunfermline route to goal. A punt into the box and see what happens. Nothing did, but it left a few casualties. It looked as if it was going to take something special to break the deadlock here, and who'd have thought Willie Miller would be the one to try it. But Westwater capped it. Neither side was expected to give much quarter in this game, but John Hughes had a point to make with the referee after this incident. However, things did get a bit out of hand, and Pat McGinley found himself with a sere face and a yellow card in this meeting of minds with Mark Miller. Big Yogi was the next to indulge in a cultural exchange with the opposition, and he too had a bit of colour added to his day. McGinley was once again in the wars, and this time Hamish French the guilty party. Grant Brebner's made his mark since arriving at Easter Road from Old Trafford, but imagine the feelings of this Hibs diehard had this been the goal which put them down. Blameless though. It was clear he was anxious to make amends, and almost did. Nerves get frayed in the dugouts these days, and both sides were clearly finding it hard to keep the heat. For a team with a reputation for aerial power, it was surprising how vulnerable Athletic were at set pieces, but Hibs couldn't take advantage. Kevin Harper was one of the few players likely to rise above the frenzy in this game, but for his pains was dumped ignominiously in the track. But the culprit seems to think that this was okay because he'd only done it once, ref, and the ref seemed to agree. Both players had a chat about it though. The subs who were warming up seemed to be practising some kind of new dance routine, but on the park the play was far from pretty to watch. Some might say the game was at this stage a load of old tosh, and who's to say they're wrong? But it was Paul Tosh who came close for the Hibs at a time when they needed it most. Kevin Harper had already been on the receiving end of some attention from the Dunfermline defence, but even the referee was getting a bit fed up by this time. Lavetti too let his frustration get the better of him, and he too found his way into what by now must have been a notebook resembling War and Peace. Basher by name. Lex Gold, Rod Petrie and company really had to stay until the bitter end, but by this time many of the Hibs fans who'd been so vociferous at the start were resigned to taking nothing from this game and were heading back to the capital to discuss the match over a dry sherry. So they'll have missed the bizarre Peter Schmeichel-like antics of Brian Gunn in the opposing half, and they'll also have missed this hotly disputed goal which could, just maybe, keep Hibs alive this season. Even Brian Welsh didn't seem to think he'd scored in the 95th minute. But the Hibs fans on this occasion seemed happy to accept the referee's decision, particularly as they survived a few real scares right on the final whistle.
What a result for Hibs, and I was there on Saturday, and so were you, Michael. A very difficult game in the end, but a vital